Hi, if you're a taller guy like me and you're thinking of getting the new Rad Expand 5, or you've just recently purchased the new Rad Expand 5 and you want to make it a little bit taller because it doesn't fit taller riders very well, then stay tuned, this video is for you. Chris here, and you can see behind me is the new Rad Expand 5. This is Rad Power Bike's new folding bike. And if you're a taller rider like me, you might notice on Rad's website that this bike doesn't go up for very tall riders, but I have a quick fix for that. We're gonna get a new seat post here, a new stem there, and change that around so that it fits much taller riders. All you're gonna need to do this is obviously a longer seat post. You're also going to need a new stem that angles up a little bit higher so you can bring those handlebars up. I like to use a multi-tool. You're going to need a 6mm, a 5mm, and a 4mm Allen wrench. For the 6mm, I do prefer using this P-handle wrench from Park Tool to help get the seat off. Just makes it a little easier, but you can do it with the multi-tool also. I'll leave links down in the description below for all of these different things. Just know if you click on these links, they are affiliate links, and I do receive a small commission if you make a purchase through them, but it's an awesome free way that you can help support me and the channel, and I really appreciate it. So now I'm going to show you exactly how you can install these things and make your bike just a little bit higher so it's a little more comfortable if you're a taller guy like me. So the first thing you're going to want to do is remove your original seat post. Just go ahead and loosen and pull it out. Then flip it around, and on the other side, you're going to see this 6mm Allen bolt underneath here. So you're going to want to loosen that. Now you can use your multi-tool 6mm Allen, but I prefer to use this Park Tool P-handle wrench. I find it's a whole lot easier to get under here and really loosen this guy up. So just go ahead and get in there and loosen that. You don't need to pull this bolt all the way out. You're just gonna loosen it and spin the little bottom and slide it right out. See the little bottom there? Then you grab your new seat post and you're gonna just wanna loosen that one a bit. Same 6mm. Just go ahead and spin it a bit until it's a bit loose, and then the two plates are gonna separate a bit underneath, and then just twist it. And then if you slide it in from behind, you kind of line it up and then slide it up underneath there. And then you're gonna just wanna lock it back down nice and tight, just so it's good and tight. And then you'll notice on it, there's this minimum insertion line. So at least like this much of the seat post needs to be in the bike. And then go ahead and just put it back in your bike. And you can go right to that minimum insertion line, line it up nice and straight, and then just cinch it down nice and tight. Now go over to the stem, and then there's this little rubber cap. You can pull that out. And then we're gonna loosen the bolts that are in the front using our 4mm Allen wrench. I use this on the multi-tool. Just go ahead and get that in there and start loosening these 4 bolts that are on the front. I usually just start with the top one. And then as you loosen those and come out, once you get to kind of the last bolt, what you can do is then rotate your handlebars down and out of the way, and that makes it a whole lot easier to get to the rest of these bolts. Oh, look at them go. I wish I could do it that fast. Save a whole lot of time. So now once you got that out, if you grab your old bolts again, just kind of hand tighten the plate back on. Just makes it so you don't lose that. Then from behind, we're gonna use our same 4mm Allen, and there's these 2 cinch bolts that hold the stem on. So go ahead and get in there and just loosen these guys up. They don't have to come all the way out. They just need to be loosened a little bit, and you'll notice the stem starts to slide around. Then you're gonna grab your 5mm out and pull this top bolt out so you can remove the top cap. And just keep spinning with that. Once it's loose, you can just get it with your fingers, undo it the rest of the way, and pull that cap off, and then you can slide the stem right off the top. Now grab your new stem, and we're gonna slide that right back on to where we put the old stem on. And you can kind of eyeball it and line it up for now. You don't have to get it perfect at this point. Just kind of eyeball it and then tighten the 2 bolts in the back. You don't have to make these super tight at this point. Just tight enough so it's not moving. Then go ahead and grab the cap again and screw the cap right back into the top. Now typically on a bike, these caps help set the headset, but on this bike, it's just covering the top so water and stuff doesn't get down in there. It doesn't do anything to tighten the headset or anything like that. You're basically just kind of screwing it back on. You don't have to make that super tight. Then you can cinch down these back 2 4mm Allen bolts really nice and snug now. I always like to get them just nice and snug even if the handlebars aren't perfectly straight, just to know I tighten them. And then go to the 4mm bolts that are on the front and loosen those up. And we're just gonna take all 4 of those bolts out and take that cap off. Then you can grab your handlebars and you can gently set them back onto the new stem and then pop the cap back on. And then you're gonna wanna grab your bolts and just tighten them back in. These can just kind of be finger tight for now. Helps to just kind of get them started with your hands. That way you're not cross-threading anything, you're not stripping it. And once you know they're going in, you can tighten them up. There go my speedy hands again. Speedy hands. Now you can rotate your bars back up and you want to make sure that they're centered also. So there's no markings on this handlebar, so you just kind of eyeball them to the center. And then just go ahead and tighten the bolts down, not super tight at this point. You're just kind of evenly tightening each of the 4 bolts down so that they're relatively even and somewhat snug, not super snug. And just making sure that your handlebar is nice and centered. And then you can continue to tighten them the rest of the way. Now with them a little loose, you can adjust the angle so that it fits you nice and right. And then at this point, you can tighten the rest of these guys down. And just keep cinching each one down, kind of going around in a square pattern. And then you can get over to the front and really kind of snug them in nice and tight. And what you're looking for is the little gaps that are underneath. Ideally, you want those to be even on the bottom and the top like that. You don't want one side pinched way down. And if you, at this point, if you do need to re-straighten your handlebars, just loosen these 2 bolts in the back. You don't have to pull them all the way out, but just loosen them up a little bit. And then with your handlebars on, you can make sure that the stem is nice and straight. If you need to do any fine tuning, helps to just sit on the bike, straighten them up a bit so that they're pointing nice and straight. And then once you have them nice and straight, go ahead and get in there with your 5mm on the back and cinch these 2 cinch bolts in the back down nice and tight. Kind of just going back and forth till they're both good and snug. You want them tight enough so that when you try to move your handlebars, holding like the front wheel with your knees or your feet, they don't turn on you. And then once those are good, you're good. Send it over to you, Chris. Hey, Chris. Hi, Chris here. And I'm out riding the new Rad Expand 5. I just did a little upgrade. I made the seat post longer and the handlebars longer, and it's a whole lot better. So if you're a taller guy and you want to get the Rad Expand 5 and make it fit a bit better, I highly recommend you getting this new seat post and the slightly raised stem. It really makes a big difference. And I thank you a ton for watching this video. And if you like this channel and want to know more about e-bikes and more about your own bike, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. I really appreciate it. So stay tuned for a whole lot more on the new Rad Expand 5. There'll be videos coming out weekly. See you on the next ride. Just wanted to add one little thing onto the end of this video. Hopefully you stayed to the end. I noticed after riding the bike for a little bit this way, if you do have the seat post all the way maxed up, the new longer one, it is a bit flimsy. I wouldn't recommend this for really heavy riders. I weigh about 220, 225, and I could definitely feel it flexing a little bit on me. So if you do have it all the way maxed out, you just want to be real cautious around bumps and stuff like that. You're gonna have to take it a bit easier. The seat post is only a 27.2, so it's not super wide. So you definitely want to be a bit careful. You might actually put it down just a hair and it'll still give you a much longer leg reach, but it'll be a little safer to ride that way. Anyway, thank you for subscribing, and I really appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see ya.